Alright, this is a review of the 24 Terrain, GMC Terrain. It's a fleet car, there's no bells or whistles on it. It has automatic climate control and heated seats, I think, are the only options. First time in a GMC for a fleet vehicle for me. Basically, I've been doing escapes. I've got over, I don't know, almost 500,000 miles on escapes. I've had 3 of them since 2017. And this is kind of my comparison of what the difference is. The escape, the seats, I had problems with the seats. I kind of kept hoping that I'd have a comfy seat. Well, the GMC, basically my first vehicle that I've got a nice comfy seat. I've got pickups, I've got cars, I've drive lots of miles in my other vehicles too, but the Escape has always been a weird seat for me, and I've had to sit on cushions. I've got 12,000 miles on this, as you can see. I've had it just a little over a month and a half now. First thing I had driving this home from the dealer, I was disappointed. The noise levels in the car are terrible. So basically, I've got a decibel meter, and let's see if I can bring that up maybe here. So I had the same mount in the Escape, and running the same decibel meter in the Escape. The Escape on the same road, just not far from here, is around 62 decibels. This car on the same road, driving the same speed at about 65, 74, 75 decibels, a lot louder. Definitely noticed as we drove down to Texas last week. Some of the roads down there are just kind of like a gravel covered road, and very noisy. Couldn't even really hear the radio, but I guess that's a big thing that I can't believe this car is so loud driving down the road most times. Another thing that I really wasn't happy about is that this, basically you're driving right here. This is your view, and the windshield wiper leaves a smear right there in the front. I guess the Escapes never did that, or any other car I've had before. I did do about 600 miles in a Buick with all the bells and whistles, and I noticed the windshield wiper did the same thing on that one too. So yeah, windshield wiper puts a smear up front. I didn't like that. Headlights. So this is 24. I'm not sure if they're new with the 4 beams on the front, but not very good distance. Well, actually, it's really good distance on the low beams. I've got a really nice pattern and everything, but everybody's flashing me. Everybody's bright lights. So I turned them down, and I've turned them down lower than what I've had on the Escapes. And basically, I'm still getting flashed, and I don't have as much distance as I did in the past. The high beams turns on a 3rd light on each side, so you got 6 lights out front. They also have about a 10-foot black area in both sides of the ditches. I'm going to see if I've got an example of this on one of my buildings. I did a side view of it, and you can see this black hole that's on both sides of the car. So straight down the road, it's fine. I can see the top and bottom of the telephone poles down the road. But as the telephone pole comes by you, the middle section of the telephone pole disappears because there's a big black spot in the ditch. And it's really annoying driving down a narrow road with a ditch. You've got these black spots. I don't understand why you would make such a high beam that has a huge black spot in both sides of the ditches. I did stop at 2 different dealers. They say there's one adjustment for the high and low beams. There is not an adjustment to separate them. So you can only adjust the whole things up and down. Not very impressed. Rear window seems to get dirtier. It's got a little flare over the back. I can't clean under there. I've got my camera in the back there. You can see I got a camera here in the front. And it displays rear view, which is probably just not really, kind of dirty. Front view, nice and clean. Rear gate. Now I've been servicing equipment for very long. 1987 I started with the same company. And I've had Ford Freestyles, Ford Flexes, Ford Taurus X's, Ford Escapes. I've had all these cars with all these back hatches, and I've never hit my head on the back hatch. Main reason why I'm doing this is because I had got so mad the other day. It was the 6th time I've hit my head on the back latch of this hatch when it's open. Now it just takes too dang long to go up. I don't know. I got it. So now I'm getting to the point where I open it up, I stand back, I wait till it gets so that I can go in it. But I'm not tall. I'm 5'9", and I hit my head on that back hatch when it goes up, and I tell you, some things get thrown around pretty quick when, especially when you smash your glasses into the top of your head and you're bleeding. It's kind of like, geez, why would they do this? GMC also raised the back floor so that the back would be flat when you laid down the seats. Well, what that did is all my tools I've got bins, and I probably stacked 5 bins tall in the back of the Escape. So there'd be 5 bins back there. Well, I can't see out the back window with 5 bins because they've raised the back platform. So I've had to, I mean, they've got space underneath. I just removed the top bins and put all my tools that I don't use that often in the lower compartment. But yeah, it's different that they've raised that up so it would be flat. But then again, when the seats are folded down, they don't go flat. They're still up in the air. They don't go flat. So I was kind of like, well, why did you do that? I don't know. The display, I mean, I drive all the time with this display. It's all right. It's kind of got a nice resolution to it. But that's my main display. I'm always driving with Waze. As I said, I do a lot of driving. Now, on the Fords, you can turn up the volume and you see a volume, okay? That's great. But on the Fords, when you change channels, it shows you the channel changes. This does not. So you have to kind of go and you say, all right, I got to go hit back over here, and then I got to go to home maybe. Yeah, now I can see on the top my different channels. So I'm like, well, I don't, why? And then I got to go back to my radio or my phone. So all that's not, you don't have that problem with the Escapes. I don't know why, did they just miss that or what? But Audio Works, the channel changes does not. I really miss not having temperature, outside temperature on the dash. It's over here on the dash for the Escape. Smaller gas tank. So I'm taking smaller gas tank and doesn't get as good a gas mileage. I pretty much got 29-30 miles per gallon. With the Escape, I'm getting what, 28 I think last time. So 28.7 was pretty good, but we just did a trip Texas and back with no stops, so basically stopping for gas. So I noticed it went from 27 to 28 on that trip. Also the miles, where is it? There, fuels range. It says I have 454 miles at full, and there's no way I can get 450 miles per tank. Another biggie that I need to have is when I'm driving, this thing got 38 miles, it goes to low. It doesn't get you down there. I used to drive the Escape down to 0 weekly. I'd drive her down to 0. I knew where my gas stations were. I knew how many miles I had to go. I would drive to 0. I'd pull in, gas up, and away I'd go. I believe the range. I don't believe the range on this one, and I don't like that it says 0, or it says low, and doesn't give you accurate readings. Climate control, it's been kind of wacky all over. It has like a setting to make it so that once it's warm, it's nice and quiet. You can change it to low, medium, or high. That's kind of nice. The other day we were driving to Arkansas, and I had this side at 77 and my wife had this side at 71. She was in the sun, I was not. And see, now I just turned that to 77. You would have thought that would have turned the fan up and gave me a little heat, but it's cool air. I don't understand it. I drove for an hour this way at 77 on one side and 71 on the other side, and I was still cold. So I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's really doing anything. Sometimes when I'm driving in the sun, I might be hot up top and my feet are cold. So what do? I have to then go to manual. I can't ride an auto. I got to put that and give my feet some heat because the auto doesn't seem to do anything. Not a fan of the shifter buttons. I could hit the engine stop right there. I just hit it and it didn't stop. So every once in a while I must be in drive and I hit the engine stop and it doesn't stop, and I'm on my way out the car and all of a sudden it starts moving. I'm like, well, this isn't going to work. So I don't know. I just hit that engine stop three times, and it didn't shut off. I don't like it. Side mirrors. I mean, yeah, this is the stripped down version. There's a huge blind spot. I put a blind spot mirror on there, and that works nice. Ford's had one out on the outside of the mirror. I thought, well, why put the blind spot thing on the outside where you're looking? I put it there where it's, the side of the car is showing, and I like it. It actually shows me the blind spot pretty nicely. I guess that's pretty much about where I've got. Yeah, one other thing, snow tires, snow in the back rims. I don't understand what was going on. I had a snowstorm. I get home, the entire back wheels were full of snow. So I knocked it all out, and I thought, that's weird. But yeah, maybe snow just drifted in, whatever. The next day I had about an inch of snow on the roads, and it wasn't like I was driving through ditches or any kind of snowbank or anything. I'm just driving on light dusting on the road. Well, I get to where I'm going, and the back wheels are full of snow again. And I'm like, well, that's really weird. So I worked my day, and I left. Well, this half snow, half melted out of it. Well, now I'm driving. I got to go to a station and wash the rear wheels because there's so much snow buildup. Half of it melted away, and half of it stayed. And of course, you got the shakes. So not real. I don't know that was weird. Twice that's happened to me. So quick look over my list. I think I'm pretty much there. I don't know. Like I said, the display on the Escape is quite a bit bigger, and there's some things that I didn't like on the Escape, or I didn't like on the GMC, but there it is. Pretty much all the things that kind of give me an upset stomach about this car. Oh, the buttons. Yeah, the Ford buttons is a section button. I find myself trying to find the button. I don't know. Fords are actually a big square button, so, and you push it here, you push it there, you get that button. That's fine. The rear button, rear windshield wiper, this one you have to twist it, so I have to take my fingers off of the steering wheel to twist it, whereas the Fords had a button on the end that I could just click with my finger. I don't know, simple things, but that's why I was kind of like, I don't know, these are a lot of different things I don't like about this car. But again, the sixth time I hit my head, I said, I'm doing this. I'm going to make a video and kind of show what I don't like about the GMC Terrain. So there you have it.